Do you or a loved one, it could be a friend, maybe a family member, take prescription medications, pharmaceuticals, doctor-prescribed drugs? If so, have you ever considered why those are being taken long-term? Have you ever considered the potential long-term implications, the side effects, the consequences of that consumption? So when I was 15 years old, I was diagnosed with an inflammatory disease called eosinophilic esophagitis, and I was put on medications that I was told I would have to take indefinitely. Prilosec, an acid-lowering medication, Flovent, also known as fluticasone, it's an inhaled corticosteroid that they told me to swallow to coat my esophagus, albuterol as needed for exercise-induced asthma, Montelukast, that's singular, it's a leukotriene antagonist for my allergies, Zyrtec as well for my allergies. Yeah, I was told that I would always have to take these medications, and there's an insight that I've come to as a consultant pharmacist for the last half decade, an insight that I can guarantee your doctors have never told you about. And honestly, this is incredibly important. So if you or a loved one are currently taking any sort of prescription medication, maybe it's something as seemingly harmless as Lipitor, it's an HMG-CoA hydroxymethylglutarol-CoA reductase inhibitor. It's a statin, a lipid or cholesterol lowering medication. Probably the most prescribed drug on the planet. Certainly the most prescribed and lucrative drug class known to mankind. If you're taking any of these medications, and maybe you just get the sense that there's a better way, but you don't know what that is, I'm here to give that to you as someone who has suffered for countless years being barely able to swallow food because my esophagus was so incredibly inflamed. What I'm going to be doing is sharing with you an insight that I have had throughout my journey as not only a pharmacist, a pharmacy student, an autoimmune disease patient who suffered with this chronic inflammatory disease. I know, woe is me, right? Like, here's my little cry story. I'm not trying to garner empathy. I just want to paint with broad strokes and give you guys a sense of why I'm so incredibly passionate about this. But I think more importantly than the aforementioned roles that I've assumed, the various hats that I've worn, I think most importantly, I'm just a human being who genuinely wants the best for the people in this life. I really just want people to experience life optimally, from a state of ease and abundance. And that's why the following insights, if you really let this land, guys, and you really internalize it, could really forever change the trajectory of your life. And here it is, guys. The fundamental problem with this idea of a quick pill solution, magic bullet pharmaceutical is the fact that your disease, your condition, your symptoms are not caused by a deficiency of that particular drug. Eosinophilic esophagitis is not caused by a Dupixent's deficiency. Depression is not caused by a duloxetine deficiency, and benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, is not caused by a dutasteride deficiency. So the insight here is that the cure hides where the cause resides. And because the cause of these conditions is not a deficiency of a drug, by definition, these are not the cures, because you literally have to take them for the rest of your life. I mean, in pharmacy school, I was actually taught that PPI's proton pump inhibitors were only ever meant to be taken for 8 weeks at most. And here I am reviewing charts of 91-year-olds who have been on Prilosec for God only knows how many decades, longer than I've been alive. And you can imagine that our stomachs are acidic for a reason. And it's no surprise then that cyanocobalamin, vitamin B12, is a common deficiency associated with long-term intake of these medications. The fundamental problem here, guys, is that you're introducing chaos, entropy. You're adding something to a system. instead of just removing the problem and adding a positive by subtracting a negative. The problem with these pills is that they are actually becoming the problem. And you can imagine, for example, if you broke your leg. Like when I was a junior in high school, I can remember the x-ray scan. It was a pretty clean break, all things considered. I broke my left fibula. And as any good doctor does, they give you some crutches that you can lean on to help you ambulate. I had to get to my physics class and still navigate life as a junior in high school. And that's fine for the first 3 months. Yeah, but imagine 3 years later, if I was still on those crutches. Notice that the crutches would have crippled me. And very much analogously, the pills and potions end up poisoning you and becoming the problem, because they precisely distract you from the underlying oxidative stress and chronic inflammation that is the underworkings, the underpinnings of the particular condition that you have to contend with. So it's a precise distraction from the process that you have to put an end to, chronic inflammation. It's precisely that distraction that is making it so that you're not actually going to find the cure, because you're not looking for the cause. And so look, I'm not saying that all pharmaceuticals are bad. I hope that's not your impression of me. I'm not anti-pharma. The last 11 years I've spent either studying pharmaceuticals or practicing pharmacy. What I'm saying is that they need to be used in an intelligent, conscious fashion, not indefinitely. You use them as a crutch, not indefinitely, whereby the crutch cripples you. Because I'm assuming that you guys probably just want the best for yourself and for your friends and for your loved ones. You want people to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about life and not dependent on pharmaceuticals for the rest of your life. I'm assuming you'd rather just have real, whole, minimally processed, nourishing food that fixes your physiology and gives you all of the benefits associated with such. Not being anxious, high-strung, being able to sleep like a rock. If you're a man, being able to wake up as hard as one, not suffering with erectile dysfunction, balancing your hormones and having all of the benefits of a healthy individual. And unfortunately, we just have a paucity of proper examples of such, even within Western medicine. Not a lot of doctors, nurses, pharmacists actually embody, are actually the epitome of ideal human health. Guys, please take this idea seriously. Pharmaceuticals are inherently problematic because they are a deterrent. They are distracting you from the precise thing that you need to be looking at, which is the chronic inflammation that is given rise to by an ancestrally inconsistent diet. So what does that mean? It means processed, refined grains, added sugars, and industrial seed oils that are made in factories that resemble oil refineries. That you need to subtract these things. Subtract the seed oils before they subtract you. Guys, I love you all very much. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. Comment down below, like and subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, friends, find your freedom. Peace.